Hello everybody and welcome to today's session. I am Lucia Manetti, the Newired Marketing Manager. Newired provides an enterprise software solution to manage user experience, and it is built by an international, highly specialized team. For us, UX is a new way to be wired into technology. Today we are talking about how to increase productivity of enterprise resources with Newired tool. The purpose of Newired is to make complex software easy to understand and browse, to increase the end-user experience and optimize activities as of marketing, customer care, product management and training. The features of this software may reveal very useful. I would like to introduce the today's presenter, Gian Giacomo Ermacora, the product manager of Newired. He will explain us such a story about empowering training activities.
Well, thank you, Lucia, and welcome everybody to this first webinar. I hope you will enjoy it. I would like to start with this slide that represents a quote that we found on the internet that is very interesting. It's a dialogue between the CFO that asked to CAO, what happens if we invest in developing in our people and then they leave us? And the CIO, the answer of the CIO is very interesting. What happens if we don't and they stay? That's very interesting. Think about that. The topic we are going to introduce today can be resumed with a simple question. That is basically, is it possible to save the 53% of our annual budget cost for training employees? We did some researches on that. The ADT, also known as the Association for Talent Development, in 2015 estimated that the US company invested an average of $1,250 per year for each employee in training. The interesting point is that this trend is constantly growing in the last 10 years. Companies consider good training very important to improve the quality of their products. What really matters most in companies should ask themselves is the question that you can see on my slide. How many information acquired by the attendees of a training or update do people remember? I guess you will be very surprised by the recorded value. In fact, it is generally only between the 2 and 3%. So given that, my additional question is, and what about the rest? It's just forgot. Another research of the University of Waterloo shows that after 2 days, people remember only the 80% of the information acquired during a training, if not refreshed. And after 30 days, the percentage drops down at 2-3%. This research underlines also that a company with 50 employees, so a medium-sized company, spends for a training an average of $60,000 to $150,000 per year. That I placed it on the slide at the 100%. But if you consider this diagram, it's evident that only $1,802.5 were really useful and effective. So the main point is that there is no a really nice balance, let me say, between the expense, the investment done, and the result there. Let's make a step back together. What is the goal? The most important goal for a training? We can usually affirm that the main goal for all kinds of training is to improve the user autonomy, because it makes them self-confident and lower the company costs. For this reason, it's very important to institute an effective strategy which can really improve the memory retention. The current strategy allows you to lead information from short-term memory to long-term memory by periodically refreshing knowledge. That is basically the diagram that you can see on the screen, which is an effective method as shown in the slide. But while the effectiveness of this strategy is not foolproof, and you may encounter some issue as well. This method requires the active participation of the employees, which causes a loss of time for production, and there will be increases at the end the cost of the company. Another possible solution that is very used worldwide is the training on the job. In this way, part of the time spent for training concurs with the time needed for production as well, but the cost is still very, very high, and the time spent for production is low. And let me say, in addition, you may also have some logistic issues. Is any other kind of alternative? We would like to say yes. The method basically is to empower the self-training, integrating the right technologies. The story of success, I'm going to tell you, comes from our Italian partner, Microsoft. That integrated Newired to lower the training costs of their employees, with a great result of the 53% of cost reduction, while giving them autonomy, giving the employees autonomy in manage their time and the job, helping the support team to lighten the workload from one side and reducing at the end the training cost as well. Microsoft is our Italian partner. Is one of the main suppliers for IT products and services in Italy. Since the foundation, it's grown, increased day by day. At the beginning, it was quite easy to monitor the activities of the employee, of course. But then, due to the high number of people involved in the activities, the HR department decided to use a kind of timesheet implemented on ALM tools that a company uses internally, that is called Polarion, to record for the employees to record the daily activities. Unfortunately, after some time, the administration registered a high number of errors in the timesheet, so the internal support was not able to manage all the requests, and in only 1 month, this request from the employees grew up by the 42%. So for this reason, the HR manager decided to prepare some traditional training as a resources manual, videos, and active support as well. This caused costs, returning a very low result as an outcome. In fact, the employees forgot quickly the information acquired in the video, and it actually increased the support activities as well. But thanks to the partnership with Newired, the HR manager and the support implemented on Polarion some journeys that acts as a continuous training with no waste of resources and time, finally. I would like to show you what they did, that it's very, very nice and very interesting. Welcome to the second part of the webinar. The demo part, I would like to show you how Newired works and how Newired is integrated in the target platform. In this case, the target platform, as we discussed previously, is Polarion, the ALM tool that is used in Microsoft also for the activity recording of the users. This is the login page. But differently from the other standard install of Polarion, as you can see on the bottom right of the screen, there is this little triangle that asks to the user, may I help you in some way. This is actually Newired. This is integrated directly in the Polarion platform in a very non-intrusive way. How it works. Basically, the user, when he is in the login page, can just click on the help, and he can see immediately all the journeys that are available for the platform. The first one is the login on Polarion, so it allows me to show you how it works and in which way. When I, as a user, click on the login on Polarion, the Newired journey immediately starts, and inject dynamically the step in the login page itself. So the first step is welcome to Polarion, and it is asking me to provide my username to log in. And let's see what happens while I'm start typing. So I type, and as you can see, Newired is guiding me to the following step. It's immediately showing me that. This is a behavior that the content creator wants to have in order to be able for Newired to recognize while the user is typing and provide him a step just after, the step just after. The same will happen here. While I start typing, it appears the third step that asks me, in this case, would you like to stay logged in? If I click there, Polarion will recognize me as a logged in user. But in this case, as you can see, the behavior expected would be not just to click on the value, so not on change of the value. In this case, is just a next. This is one of the most important capability in Newired, because you as a content creator can decide which kind of behavior Newired plus the application that is under Newired would have with the user that are using the platform plus Newired. So you can decide which kind of interaction your end user may have with the platform and also with the guidance. So in this case, the third step is just a next, so it's a kind of explanatory step that I would like just to skip. The last one, the last step in my journey is just a click. So in this case, I have two possibilities: to just end the tour or click to login in. That will take me to the logged in area of Polarion. And in this case, the behavior of Newired will be that on click it will do some operation. In this case, we'll just do the login and ends the path that we created. So I just click on login. So now I'm logging in Polarion. The project is the HR management, where all the people in Immersoft should compile the timesheet as well as we describe it. So as you can see, the interface of Polarion contains a lot of information, and I need to be guided in some way to compile my timesheet. So how to do that? Newired helps you, because there is a journey that Immersoft did, that is the timesheet, can guide me through the process. When I click on the timesheet, as you can see, Newired takes me to be focused precisely on the link of the timesheet that is available in the project. I would like also to underline you how Newired is able to focus very strictly my attention to the single point using this approach that makes all the rest of the screen gray, and it doesn't allow me to click anywhere else than the point where the step in this case is pointing my attention. In this case, so then I can just click the timesheet and then follow the process that was created for me. The first step in the operation here is just explanatory, and Newired is very good for that, to explain what is happening and which are the possibilities that the user may do in the platform. So for example, the first step on top is asking me if you don't find any tasks here, you can define your own query. And then it's underlining me that there is a main area and with some activities, some tasks already tracked here. Of course, Newired is also able to show multiple steps in the same times that may have sense, just to describe the main environment where the user is working in this at that moment. So then I can click on next, and then I can follow the path created. Each of these elements are tasks assigned to you. Click on the first to load the details. I can click here, and then Polarion loads me the data of the activity itself. So here, as you can see again, I have the possibility to make all the screen black, and so here I can take a look at the information of the single task. So then I click next. And now Newired is pointing me to a specific cell of the timesheet where I can define the spend time on a single activity. In this case, the step is very nice, let me say, because it underlines me not only the action that I have to do, but also how to do that. Because specifically in this Polarian timesheet, I can define, for example, the activity with a duration of 1 day, or 1 hour, or half a day, half an hour, and so on. So for testing, it's nice that I can just use 1 day. I will add another one here. The word is explaining me that I can also add my working time for Saturday or for Sunday eventually, and then it is explaining me the most complex part that basically was the main pain in Microsoft, that if the user specify more than 1 day as a value for the single activities, basically Polarian does the sum. So in this day, the sum of the day should be no more than 1 day, because of course you are just one person, so you can't work for 2 in 1 day. So then it's very nice the fact that I can define for each day the value, but Newired is underlining me that I have to declare that I worked for at least 8 hours or 1 day, or of course in case of extra hours you can specify them as well. So for example, if I did some 1 hour more on a specific activity, I can define that. But as you can see here, the total sum of the day is improved. And in this case, this was one of the case of the error that the Microsoft had, because the sum of the day most of the time returned strange values like 7 hours or 17 hours, depending on how good was the compile of the timesheet itself. Because there were any kind of specification and any kind of guidance. And in this case, Newired solved the problem. So next, last time that was seems to be very trivial, but happened as well, is the fact that the people didn't save it, that the timesheet wasn't compiled. So in this case, Newired was asked also to remember to the people to save the timesheet once compiled. Save it. And then my timesheet has been compiled correctly. As the last step in my presentation, I would like to show you how lovable it is to create this kind of journey in using Newired. As you can see on my screen, I opened the editor, the Newired editor. That is a standalone application where you can prepare your journeys, your guidance for the platforms. That is very lovable to use because it's definitely a very usable tool. For the first, you have to create a new guide, like login. We can simulate the same guidance that we created, that I showed you at the beginning. Then press OK, and then I can select the objects that are available on the screen. As you can see, this selector is able to recognize the objects in the screen and attach quickly the step, with the possibility for me to edit the contents of the step itself, providing me also a live preview. So I can do Polarian -login and then attach some description as please provide your username. And then, as I told you at the beginning, I can also, as a content creator, specify which kind of behavior I would like that Newired has with the platform under Newired and the end user itself. And this is allowed by this new step after, where I can define which kind of behavior my Newired may have with application and with the end user, as I told you. So basically in this case, I can leave the edit input. Newired has a kind of intelligence that can define by itself the kind of action that is expected following the kind of objects recognized in the screen. So the edit input means that while the user is editing his username, automatically Newired will show the following bubble. I can press next. I can attach a second step. The title is not mandatory, so I can skip it, and then please type here your password with the edit input as well, and then I can attach the action on the login button. Finally press the login. And as you can see here, Newired is suggesting me to use just a click, because the user will just click on this icon and then the journey will end in this step. Once I'm done, on the right bar of the Newired editor, I can also play the scenario that I created. So this kind of simulation allows me to test that every step works correctly, and that every step works contains the right contents that I specified there. So I can just press the play button and then Polarion login. Oh, I did a mistake, so I can modify it. Admin, my password, and then the login. I can modify, of course, my content with edit attributes. I would like also to modify the text in order to make it more evident to the people. For example, I need a 4. I have sense. The same for this content. It was an editor 4 again, and then the last step, I would like to modify it as a either 1, and then I can also define some specific content like the bold, or I can define the I or the paragraph. I can attach images, link, whatever I want. This is a full feature editor where I can attach whatever I need. I can also put some external contents, links, and so it can be very how to say, flexible from the content perspective for your end user. So once done, I can verify that everything is working as expected. Admin, password, and finally the login. Okay, I ended my presentation now. I hope you enjoyed my demo, as I personally did. For every question, feel free to write directly to me or to info@newired.com. My email is giangiacomo.ermacora@newired.com. I will be very happy to answer all your questions all the time you need. Thank you, everybody, and see you next time.
Thank you for watching. We will answer your question with a follow-up by email. For further information about the topic, please write us at info@newired.com. Follow us on our social channels and see you soon!